Hi, my name is Dr. John Edwards, and if you have questions about whether you should be wearing masks, staying at home, or getting outside and getting some sunshine, this video is for you. There's a great big debate happening right now about how asymptomatic, or there's a new word called pre-symptomatic carriers may be the boogeyman hiding out in the grocery store carrying COVID-19, and it's gotten everybody all anxious and wondering what they should do about it. There's been a lot of confusion about whether they should all be wearing masks. I was walking around and saw people in the grocery store wearing the mask, and boy, oh boy, don't sneeze or cough when you're there, right? Because everybody's going to turn around and give you the eye. So here I am looking at this, and I'm starting to think about where I am in the country. And there's a couple studies I'm going to talk about later that have a lot to do with who is symptomatic and who is not. And I had a thought. So Harvard has a graph about who in the United States is getting enough sunshine, who's producing enough vitamin D. And they have a really cool picture. I'm going to share it with you here. It's going to be shared in the blog. That the 37th parallel north of the equator seems to be this line. It stretches from Virginia, north of Oklahoma, divides Arkansas and Missouri. It's basically cutting off the states like the Southwest from the northern section of the United States, even down through Southern California. And states below that, outside of the summertime, so winter, spring, and fall, seem to get adequate vitamin D because of sunlight exposure. However, areas of the country north of that, which encompasses most of the United States, they don't get enough vitamin D. And so when we start looking at the recommendations that people who are over 65, who have heart conditions, even your gig economy workers, people who stay inside, or maybe they have night jobs, the third shift workers, that kind of stuff. So maybe they're younger people, but they're inadequate for vitamin D, that maybe those people ought to listen to what the CDC is saying. So those people are getting recommendations that sheltering in place and wearing masks when they go outside, that might be of a benefit. So if you have a weak immune system, or they have a history of high blood pressure, we've explained this connection between high blood pressure and COVID-19 before, that it may be smart for those people to give themselves some protection. Maybe if they're over 65, they start getting groceries delivered to them instead of hanging out at Home Depot. The other people, though, who live south of that area might be okay if they went outside more. Vitamin D has a protective effect. Again, we explained this in another blog to help protect people against the doorways that COVID-19 uses to get into the cells. It creates a little bit of a barrier by creating more enzymes in the human body to help protect and block that doorway. So the kind of nexus of this, the intersection between the two, is really about health and the average American. If you're going to make public health policy and you have to protect the lowest common denominator in this country, then maybe what they're saying is something that isn't so great for us to hear. Maybe we are a little more overweight. Maybe we have a tendency towards heart disease, a little bit more than we like to admit. And it could be kind of subtle in the recommendation from the CDC that what they're trying to do is protect the lowest common denominator. If you look at the 2018 report from the State of Obesity in the United States, you can take a look and see the states that seem to have the highest, at 35% or more obesity rates in the US. They tend to kind of follow along through the South. They tend to go straight up the Midwest. And so I would say that the people who I worry about the most coming forward are going to be the people who are living in cool weather climates who have naturally high obesity rates, because it tends to be that they don't get outside and they're probably related to higher instances of heart disease. That means that they're probably a little more susceptible to COVID-19. And what might save them is an early spring. An early spring might make the weather a little bit warmer, hopefully get them outside. The take-home message here is that if you live in one of these areas, you still have time. That the projections are most people are still going to be kind of told to follow these recommendations through the end of April. And so you have the opportunity at this point in time to make some serious changes. Maybe that's going for walks more often. Maybe you can set a goal of getting yourself more healthy in a lot of ways. We call these salutogenic principles that build up your health. So that's really the key to understanding this message here, is that if we're going to get more healthy, more resilient, there's definitely some activities that you can do. Thanks a lot for watching. Even more, thank you for sharing. Remember, if you'd like to keep updated with the latest, we keep a blog, mamaschchiropractic.com. We also have a subscription newsletter that you can sign up for. We have a Facebook page that you can keep up on the latest news. And if you'd like to subscribe to YouTube, we also have a YouTube channel there too.